Even Iranian hackers don't respect FBI Director Kash Patel, whose own data and personal data and embarrassing things like his resume were just posted on an Iranian hacker website for all to see. Who can forget just last year Kash Patel, when it was noted that other Iranian hackers had broken into other key people in Donald Trump's life and tried to and extracted their data and their confidential and personal information like Chief of Staff Susie Wilds and Stormy Daniels. Yes, the exotic dancer porn star who Donald Trump had a sexual interaction with. And Roger Stone and even Lindsay Halligan all had their data breached by Iranian hackers last year. Here's what Kash Patel, the new victim, had to say at the time. Anyone associated with any kind of breach of national security will be fully investigated and prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Good luck bringing in Iranian groups affiliated with the Iranian government. This is a giant middle finger from the Iranian regime, who really hasn't been changed despite Donald Trump and his people around him saying it has, and shows you that nobody is safe. There's an underlying issue here that I think it also points up. It's that Donald Trump continuing to tell the American people that foreign governments are not trying to interfere with the outcome of presidential elections or to influence policy and politics and to the stability of a government here. That's not happening. We know that's a lie. But Donald Trump wants you to believe that the Russians, the Iranians, the North Koreans, and the Chinese aren't working independently to try to tear down America and influence the outcome of elections. Now, how do they do that? Primarily, wait for it, through social media. Yes, through trolls, through what looks to be pro-Trump or pro-Hillary Clinton or anti-Hillary Clinton type websites and social media posts and Instagrams. 70% of the pro-Donald Trump sites are controlled by people outside of the United States. That's not me talking. That's independent experts making the analysis. You know, women for Trump, and this one for Trump, and that one for Trump. They're all sitting in Russia or in Iran. And then when they don't get their way, and they often don't, then they start breaking into the phones and the data of people like Kash Patel. How embarrassing. I'm not sure you can actually embarrass Kash Patel. Here's a guy that before he became the FBI director used to go on stage to mass applause selling merchandise with his name in it, including with a dollar sign. So now he's a director of the FBI, and he's embroiled in his own public scandals that we now have the new reporting that the FBI and its inspector generals and others have been doing a deep dive into whether Kash Patel has been violating ethics laws or criminal laws, and how he's been misusing taxpayer dollars to ferry himself and his girlfriend around the country to support her musical career or to show up in the dressing room, the locker room of the U.S. Olympic team, hockey team in Italy, and pop some champagne and beer with them while criminal investigations and leads go cold. Why hasn't Savannah Guthrie's mother been found with the FBI on the case? That's a good question. Why? According to some reporting, were there delays in criminal investigations of mass shootings because Adia Kash Patel was busy using the private jet? Why was he so slow on the draw and interfered in a way with the Charlie Kirk investigations? See, the fact that Donald Trump keeps Kash Patel on the government payroll tells you everything you need to know about Donald Trump and his judgment, and he alone along with Pam Bondi and in Pete Hegsth and Tulsi Gabbard, that the American voter and electorate should hold Donald Trump responsible for all of these things. America is not respected now with Donald Trump in charge. The America that we know is a laughingstock. The Iranians don't care. They said, you know what? We're not. Only are we going to hack Kash Patel's personal data. We're going to put him up on a website for everybody to see. There's Kash Patel smoking a cigar. There's Kash Patel's resume. You should be working on polishing up that resume, because I'm not sure he's going to be out of the job force too much. You know, he's going to have a job too much longer, and we'll have to go out and look for another one. Underlying that is Donald Trump telling the American people that, for instance, Russia interfering with the election to get him elected was a hoax. That's untrue. We know that the hackers and cyber criminals have been hacking away at the Trump administration since before they got into office. J.D. Vance and Donald Trump's own phones through Verizon were hacked by the Chinese as they were campaigning for office. Then we've got in June of 2025, almost a year ago, we have the reports that Iranians, This is out or around the time of the bombing of the nuclear reactors and the nuclear facilities for Iran. Susie Wilds, Chief of Staff, Stormy Daniels, why not? Let's embarrass Donald Trump again about a Stormy Daniels affair. Roger Stone, a primary operative and leader of the January 6th insurrection movement. Lindsay Halligan, the now disgraced member of the Department of Justice and U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia. But my favorite part is Kash Patel waving his crooked finger back in June of 2025. We're going to get to the bottom of this, and we're going to America will be safe, and we're going to prosecute. You can't even keep your own data safe. The rest of us. What chance do we have if they can't put a proper cybersecurity ring fence around Kash Patel's own data? What chance do I have? Not much. Chinese, Russian, North Korean, Iranians have been trying to put Americans at each other's throats, make them seething. A seething cauldron here which Donald Trump has exploited for his own personal and political gain. There's no other way to put it. I'm not here yet with facts to support a direct collusion conspiracy where Trump's operatives are in contact with those kind of hackers around the world, but he certainly drafts behind them to benefit politically from them. There is no doubt in anybody's mind, including the Senate Armed Services Committee and Intelligence Committee back in 2020 when they issued their report that the Russians wanted Donald Trump elected. Putin wanted Donald Trump elected and worked overtime through trying to brainwash the American people through social media and through trolls and the rest to try to get them to vote against Hillary Clinton, to sabotage the Hillary Clinton campaign. There's no doubt in my mind. There's no doubt in experts' mind that happened. Donald Trump won't acknowledge it because it detracts from his victories apparently, or has a whiff of corruption and conspiracy around it. But it's the truth. And now we're just seeing how easy it is for Iranians and other people against the American interests to embarrass a people in office. If I were them, I would be very worried in the Trump administration about hacks too. Howard Lutnick, the Commerce Secretary, Scott Bent, the Treasury Secretary, Tulsi Gabbard, National Intelligence, RFK Jr., Public Health, Pete Hegseth, National Defense, and anybody else in the inner Stephen Miller. I remember once Donald Trump, with great balls said out loud, he wanted the Russians to help him. If the Russians had Hillary's emails, those now infamous emails from her server, they should be released, and the American people would thank the Russians. Yeah, there's hackers out there that know Stephen Miller is a prime suspect to be hacked. I think Elon Musk is a prime suspect to be hacked. Or prime target, and we'll cover it all right here. You're on the Midas Touch Network. Happy birthday to Midas Touch. They're now 6 years old, and Legal AF is 5 years old this month. And the predecessor to Legal AF, the thing we call Legal Roundup, is also 6 years old because we were the first podcast that branched off from Midas Touch way back then. Thank you to our audience for that. Take a minute, hit the free subscribe button, and our birthday, our 5th birthday, our 6th birthday. Come over to Legal AF YouTube channel. Help us get to 1.1 million subscribers this weekend. Until my next report, I'm Michael Popak. Can't get your fill of Legal AF. Me neither. That's why we formed the Legal AF Substack. Every time we mention something in a hot take, whether it's a court filing or an oral argument, come over to the Substack. You'll find the court filing and the oral argument there, including a daily roundup that I do called, wait for it, Morning AF. What else? All the other contributors from Legal A are there as well. We got some new reporting. We got interviews. We got ad-free versions of the podcast and hot takes were Legal AF on Substack. Come over now to free subscribe.